Hey YouTube, Bob here. Today I wanted to take a look at what I think is one of the more unique aspects of my collection, and that is my collection of Nintendo brochures or leaflets or pamphlets. And what I have right here is a more modern one. This one is available in retail stores during the holiday season of 2013. But as a kid, I can remember I absolutely loved these things. So much so that I usually would take probably more than one when I saw them in the little display counters in stores like Venture or Wal-Mart or Target. But I do have them for almost every single Nintendo system. Some of them are original from when I was a kid, but most of them are ones that I've collected retroactively on eBay. But we're going to start going back to the Nintendo Entertainment System and then progress through the Game Boy, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, something Nintendo was marketing as the power of choice, the Virtual Boy, the N64, the Game Boy Advance, and then finally the Nintendo GameCube. So here we go. This is my collection of Nintendo brochures. So this first brochure I have here is for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and given the look of it and the copyright of 1986 that it has on it, I'm judging this came out just after the test marketing of the deluxe set in New York in 1985. But as part of that campaign, Nintendo is trying to market the Nintendo Entertainment System as anything but a video game system. Because thanks to the video game crash of 1983, the term video game was kind of a taboo subject. Consumers were wary of video games because of all the poor quality games that were seen on the Atari, and they didn't want to be suckered into buying the same types of poor products. So Nintendo tried to stay away from the video game image and instead focused on words such as home entertainment and technology. And there's Rob the Robot on the front cover to try to drive that point home. Back in the 80s, couldn't get much more technologically advanced than a robot. So there he was, trying to sell the Nintendo Entertainment System. And then again in this big picture of the deluxe set, where you see the Zapper, Rob the Robot, the Nintendo Entertainment System with its controllers, and the two games it was packaged with, Duck Hunt to go along with the Zapper, and Gyromite to go along with Rob the Robot. And Nintendo says the Nintendo Entertainment System, where video technology is more than a game. So there are our words, video and technology, but not pairing them with game. It's more than a game. It's technology. And here it says it's not just kid stuff, it's family stuff too. Nintendo was always a family company trying to get people to play their games in more of a social aspect, especially with the family. And typically on early Nintendo Entertainment System packaging, you'd see that picture of the happy family huddled around the TV enjoying their Nintendo Entertainment System. And usually there was a boy or a girl that was holding the Nintendo Entertainment System controller incorrectly. But only nerds like us notice those types of things. Nintendo's control deck, the brains behind the system, focusing on the system itself. Rob the Robot, the system that features a friend to play with. And the Zapper light gun, the light gun that's loaded with thrills. Gotta love the puns. Now the eyes have it, superior graphics, featuring Kung Fu there. And games, 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 and more games, featuring Duck Hunt and Gyromite, the pack-in games. And it says down here, you'll use it now, you'll use it later, much later, talking about the technology and how Nintendo plans to release games throughout its lifespan. Also talks down here about the difference of configurations of the hardware that you can buy. It says you can purchase the Nintendo Entertainment System as a deluxe set or buy the components separately. Rob the Robot, Zapper light gun, or control deck with controllers. Plus, the control deck comes with a Super Mario Bros. Game pack absolutely free. It's the most challenging adventure ever created. So this brochure was probably just as or right before Super Mario Bros. Was starting to become the pack-in game. And speaking of games, here are several of them. The sights, the sounds, the action, and it's all part of Nintendo's ever-expanding library of action-packed game packs. And still, it looks like we're featuring many of the black box games, but there is Super Mario Brothers. Here's a game pack action that doesn't stop until you do. And they got Super Mario Brothers included with the control deck. And of course, as always, more games are on the way. You close this one up. It says, "You got our guarantee on it." And this is their little blurb about the Nintendo seal of quality. This seal is your assurance that Nintendo has approved and guaranteed the quality of this product. We won't get into that. That's a topic for another video entirely. The next brochure I have is still for the Nintendo Entertainment System, published 2 years later in 1988. Never underestimate the power of Nintendo. And here we see some of the newer accessories, the Advantage joystick and the NES Max control pad. Still, the Zapper is one of the prominent accessories, however. Begin with the brains behind the system, the Nintendo control deck, talking about the technology. Looks like here they're getting into the different sets that they were going to be making available. The action set. Once they did away with the deluxe set, the most common configuration of the NES hardware was the Zapper with a Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt combo cartridge there. And you also got the 2 controllers, just like you always did. So, then choose your system and add incredible accessories. Got the NES Advantage joystick, Zapper light gun, NES Max, and the Nintendo Player's Guide, the official Nintendo Player's Guide. This book was like the Bible when you were growing up. I love this book. I didn't have a copy of my own. I borrowed my friend's for several weeks. But apparently, that was one of the hardware configurations. You could get the NES with 2 controllers and no game, but with the guide, so you can pick out the game that you wanted. You got exciting games, Legend of Zelda, Rad Racer, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and Metroid, getting into some of the Nintendo classics that were released after the black box games. Add some inside information. There's a little ad for the Nintendo Fun Club newsletter that preceded Nintendo Power. And now you're playing with power. So let's get that all together as it was meant to be. Never underestimate the power of Nintendo. Begin with the brains behind the system, the Nintendo control deck. Then choose your system, add incredible accessories, exciting games, and add some inside information, and now you're playing with power. And there we have again, you've got our guarantee on it, the Nintendo seal of quality. So next up in the line of NES brochures was published in 1988 as well. This one's got a little bit of a different look to it. It says, "Enter the world of Nintendo." This must have been after they started their new marketing campaign, setting up worlds of Nintendo in retail establishments across the country. All the signage and the cabinets and everything to go along with that world of Nintendo theme, including that neon light up sign that I have in my own Nintendo game room. So let's enter the world of Nintendo. Okay, yeah, now we're starting to see some of the more recent things. Nintendo Entertainment System, a world of fun for the whole family. Nintendo brings fun, excitement, and challenge to more than 11 million homes across America. So they were already very well established by this point. Got Super Mario Bros. 2 and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Already starting to see sequels for many of their classic titles. This is a new configuration of the hardware, the Power Set, where the action set gave you a dual combo cartridge. This one gave you a triple combo cartridge. Not only did you get Super Mario Brothers to take advantage of the 2 controllers, and Duck Hunt to take advantage of the Zapper, but you also got world-class Track Meet to take advantage of the brand new peripheral, which was the Power Pad. You stand on the Power Pad and walk on it, jog on it, do all sorts of things on it to control the game. So meet our newest power player. It's the Power Set. Back up a little bit, they still have the action set available, and they have the control deck all by itself. And then of course you can buy all the peripherals separately. The Power Pad, NES Advantage, NES Max, and the Zapper light gun, called Power Boosters. The Power Performers, NES software, talking about the games. We got Rad Racer, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Super Mario Bros. 2, and Metroid. And then we're there when you need us, talking about their customer service, game counselor hotlines, and Nintendo Power Magazine. all of which have been made completely obsolete thanks to the internet. But that's what you had to do back then. Consult a magazine or pay an 800, actually it would be like, what was it? 206-885-7529 was their game counselor number. They'd probably charge you, does it say here? No, of course not. But they're going to charge you probably over $1 a minute to get game tips. And then again, your assurance of quality, the Nintendo seal of quality. You can see it's been pared down a little bit. Doesn't mean the seal is your assurance that Nintendo has approved and guaranteed the quality of this product. All it means now is that our licensees have paid us the fee to develop games for our console. So they've paid us, but that doesn't mean that the game is of any quality or not. So that's the new official Nintendo seal of quality. Next up on our list here is a brochure from 1989. Experience Ultimate Excitement, Nintendo Entertainment System. We got Mario, Samus, and Link on the front here. Really like the pictures on this one. Got kind of an industrial thing going on here. But again, it's featuring the power set with the power pad, the gun, and the controllers with the triple game pack. However, now, thanks to the regulations in the United States, any toy gun, at least the end of it, needs to be a bright orange color. But Nintendo decided to take that a step further and make pretty much the whole entire gun a bright neon orange. So, you know, just you wouldn't mistake it for a real gun. And then again, they still have available the action set with the dual cartridge, 2 controllers and the gun, and then the system by itself with 2 controllers. Ultimate Game Selection. Over 150 of the most graphically exciting action-packed games on the market. All designed for play exclusively on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And you got kind of a cool shot of all those games there. Talking about the Ultimate Power Tools. You got the NES Satellite, which is their infrared multi-tap adapter for 4 controllers. NES Advantage again, the power pad, the zapper, and then the NES Max. And then, of course, talking about Nintendo Power Magazine. And the Nintendo Seal of Quality yet again. Next up, we see Tanooki Mario, Racoon Mario, in this brochure from 1990. So let's see here. It says Ultimate Selection, Ultimate System, Ultimate Support, Nintendo Entertainment System. Then again with Mario, Link, and Samus on the cover. Open it up. Looks like we got the same pictures recycled here, but we've added a new hardware configuration. Now we have the NES Sports set that was packaged with 4 controllers, a dual cartridge, which was Nintendo World Cup Soccer and Super Spike V-Ball, as well as the infrared NES Satellite for 4-player simultaneous. And then, as always, the power set, the action set, and the control deck were always still available. A lot more games here, kind of a cool shot. The Ultimate Selection, hundreds of games. Then, of course, going for the hardware. Pretty much all the same here, the NES Max, the NES Satellite, the NES Advantage, the Zapper, the Power Pad. But new here is the NES 4-Score, which is their wired solution for 4-player simultaneous. Then, of course, Nintendo Power Magazine. And then, of course, the ultimate in quality, the ultimate power of support. And the last brochure for the Nintendo Entertainment System I have was published in 1991. Totally different look here. All yellow with Dr. Mario on the front. America's favorite home video game system, Nintendo Entertainment System. Featuring the action set, the sports set, the power set, and the control deck. Several different configurations of the NES hardware. You pick the one that's best for you. Hundreds of games. Multiply the action, multiply the fun. Nice shot of the box art there for several games. And then the hardware that we've seen in the other brochures, the NES Advantage, Satellite, NES Max, Fourscore, Power Pad, and now we've added the cleaning kit and some extra controllers necessary now if you're going to buy the Fourscore or the Satellite to play multiplayer games. And then Nintendo Power's kind of been relegated to a little blurb on the back here, but as always, the official Nintendo seal of quality. And so there you have it. These were my Nintendo Entertainment System brochures. And released within the lifespan of the Nintendo Entertainment System was the Game Boy, which is what we're going to be taking a look at next, my Game Boy brochures. Now, when I was a kid, I never had a Game Boy brochure. I never even had any of those NES brochures that I just showed you. I didn't start collecting these until the Nintendo Entertainment System. But what I think is neat about these, I got them in a lot. If you line them up from left to right, it kind of looks like a drafting board. It seems like from the first one here to the second one to the third one, more detail was added as they went along. Not much in the way of graphics on this first one. Then we added the logo. Then we added the logo and a picture of the product itself. So kind of an interesting progression in as far as these brochures are concerned. But let's take a look at the first one here. We got the seal for Game Boy. Official Game Boy Compact Video Game System. Explore the next generation of video play. Game Boy games. Wow. Game Boy game. Interesting. Open it up. Game Boy, just going across like that. Game Boy means portable fun. Multiple player action. Showing the headphones that were included, the game link, and right down to the Max-L batteries that were included with it. And those are the actual batteries. I still have those in a plastic baggie inside my new in-box Game Boy system. Also showing you the Tetris game, which was the pack-in. Still going across here, Game Boy. Extensive game pack library, interchangeable game packs, software features. So we got several of the games here. And talking about some of the accessories. The compact carrying case, which is so 80s. I've always loved the look of that one. Rechargeable battery pack, an AC adapter. Game counselors, consumer service, and Nintendo Power magazine. So not necessarily Game Boy specific. Could also be applied just as easily to the Nintendo Entertainment System, but other products and services that they offered. And on the back, of course, we have the official Nintendo seal of quality, along with the official Game Boy seals. Going to look for that to make sure it's an authentic Game Boy game pack. And then this one tells you if you can use the video link for 2-player. And this first brochure was published in 1990, about a year or maybe half a year after the system was released in the US in 1989. So that was the first edition. We'll call it the rough draft. Here's the first revision where we get more of a stylized logo on the front. This one came out a year later in this one actually came out in 1990 as well. So we had two different versions of the Game Boy brochure come out in the same year, 1990. So you got similar graphics. Got the game link, the headphones, the Tetris game pack, the Game Boy itself, and of course the Max-L batteries. Got some 80s kids here. Oh my gosh, it does not get any more 80s than what she's wearing. That's awesome. So portable power, portable fun. Fun times 2 using the Game Link cable that is included back when Nintendo gave you everything you needed to use their system's features. Several games with the box art shot in the style of the NES brochures we saw earlier. Games that put the power of Nintendo right in your hands. Games that multiply the action. And it looks like we got the Game Boy hip pouch carrying case. Got the rechargeable battery pack and AC adapter. Got the cleaning kit for Game Boy. And then of course Nintendo Power magazine. And then on the back, you got your seals of quality. And this final revision here, published in 1992, adds the title, gives us a graphic, and also a little caption saying portable power and portable fun with the personal video game system from Nintendo. So, the final progression here of the Game Boy brochures. This one opens a little bit differently. It's not a book necessarily. And I think from now on after, these are all going to be kind of like fold-out posters. So you open it up, it says Game Boy. It can hold strange alien worlds, entire race courses, tennis courts, exotic new lands, infinite puzzles, even your favorite ballpark or golf course. But still featuring all of the things that it was packed with. Except for this. This is the 4-player adapter that was always sold separately unless you bought it with the F1 race game. But I don't believe it was ever packaged with the system itself. So you got the front and back on one side, starting to talk about all 3 of their systems now, the Super NES, the NES, and the Game Boy. Nintendo Power and the Nintendo Seal of Quality. And if you open it up the other way, Game Boy games, over 200 ways to experience portable power. Got the hit pack, Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, one of the most popular and best games on the Game Boy. Got some 80s kids playing with the Game Link there. Got Samus. Got the cleaning kit and the AC adapter and battery charge kit. And then Yoshi as well. So you can see this brochure kind of overlaps in time anyway with the release of the Super NES, which came out in the United States in 1991, and this brochure is from 1992. But with that, that brings us to my collection of Super Nintendo Entertainment System brochures.